Well, I think it's time to go live on another bicycle live stream. Wish me luck with this lapel mic this morning. I've got it plugged in. I hope it stays plugged in. Okay, so it's Saturday the 2nd of January in the Southern Hemisphere at just after 7 a.m. I've ridden about 37, 38 kilometres just on the ride home, and I want to talk about what we've learnt from the year that should not be mentioned. That's what we're going to call last year, the year that should not be referred to. But as much as it was a crap year for a lot of the world, we can learn from it, and we can take those lessons from the year that should not be mentioned into this year. So let's have a look at how that's possible. Well, let's start with the fact that the way that we learn is often through adversity, rather than, it's good morning there from, I'm trying to read these comments whilst concentrating on the road. I think I'll just concentrate on the road for a moment. I think that was a good morning from Matt there. Let me just check that. Let me just check. That was a good morning from Matt. Thank you for watching, Matt. How's the audio, Matt? Anyway, if this lapel mic keeps working all right, the audio will be fantastic. And if it doesn't, then it'll be crap. So one of the ways that we learn is through adversity. And good morning, Jenny. Thank you for watching. Maybe you can let me know how the audio is. Thank you. Because adversity forces us into an uncomfortable position where we need to reassess the things that we'd previously been. Good morning. Okay. So Matt says it's good. Thank you for that audio report, Matt. So adversity forces us into a position where we need to reassess what we thought was working, where we need to stop and go, you know what? This isn't working. There's something not right here. I'm not comfortable in this situation. There's things going wrong. I need to reassess what I think is the way that I should be doing things in life. So that's what adversity does on a personal level. Now, on a worldwide level, the year that shall not be mentioned has initially thrown us at the beginning of that year, threw us a big curveball and caught us off guard, and has taken a lot of us a long time to scrambling to catch up. Matt says 2020 needs to be a swear word. It doesn't need to be, it already is. I googled it. I googled swear words and it was at the top of the list. Actually, you know what? It probably will be. I'm joking, but that'll probably happen. Anyway, we were caught by 2020. It's taken us a hell of a long time to catch up with the reality of what the world has been facing. In 2021, we don't have any excuses. We can't be denialists anymore, which is a terminology I want to use possibly more often than saying conspiracists, but we can't be denialists anymore. We can't keep our head in the sand and go, oh, well, it's going to get better. We'll just, we'll put the cricket back on, or we'll hold the New Year's Eve parties, or we'll do whatever it is. And, somehow this pandemic that was created because we're not vegan will go away. And, we were living in that degree of hope through the year that should not be mentioned. But now that we've according to the Gregorian calendar, I can actually say that word, according to the Gregorian calendar from 1576 or whenever it was started by King Gregory, I think it was. According to that, we have entered a new year. We now can take the lessons from the year that should not be mentioned and bring them into this year and say to ourselves, okay, well, we were sort of caught on the hop last year. We weren't really sure how bad the situation could be. it sort of got worse and worse, and then it seemed to ease off, and we thought, oh, good, it's over. And then it came back again, and and then it eased off, and then it came back again. And as I speak, of course, there are many parts of the world that are currently in an atrocious state. The US, the UK, Europe, well, a lot of the world. We are very fortunate here in Australia with the relatively small amount of effect that it's had here. So we can learn from this. That's what wise people do. We learn. We don't stay in a state of denialism. We don't argue with each other about what's going on. We actually learn. We go, okay, how can we work this in a way so that our lives are better, that we're treating each other better, that humanity has a better chance of survival. Now, as I've been saying, I believe humanity is doomed, but I don't necessarily believe that means that we give up hope. Seems a bit strange, doesn't it? But it means we still have our values for as long as we are here. We're still ambassadors of compassion. We still need to treat each other with the love and compassion we wish to be treated with ourselves, and that applies to all living beings. And of course, as vegans, that applies to all animals, and of course to Mother Earth. So prior to last year, the year that should not be mentioned, we were given warnings the year previous about the state of our environment and the escalating rate of the climate crisis. At that time, 2 years ago, I think October maybe 2018, I did a wake-up call live stream about the state of the climate crisis. And it was scary facts that I was sharing. That's 2 years ago. What have we learnt from that? Well, sadly, we have learnt to ignore the facts and stay in, again, a state of denialism, because it is easier for us to not change. It's easier for us to stay stuck in the routines that we have gotten comfortable with than it is to go, shit, we need to do something here, because this is getting bad. And unfortunately, history has shown that human beings tend to leave things to the last minute, and often too late. Like was it Pompeii, the volcano? That sort of thing. It's like there's warning signs. It's unstable. I can't remember what century that happened in, but there were warning signs that it might explode, and a certain number of people chose to carry on and ignore that and just go, oh no, it'll be right. So this is what we need to learn and carry forward from the year that should not be mentioned, that staying in a state of denial about the state of the world, about where it is at and its chances for rapid recovery, are just not going to service any really, it's just not going to help us, basically. I'll put it that way. It's not going to help us, because the longer we hold off learning the lessons from adversity, the less time we give ourselves to solve the problem and to reverse the changes. And so each day, each hour, each minute that goes by, we know that the climate crisis is worsening as we've gone through the hottest and coldest temperatures in last year, in the year that should not be mentioned. We've actually, recorded the extremes at both ends. We know that these are warning signs, massive warning signs, in the same way that in our health, personal health of our body, we will get warning signs before we have a heart attack. Usually we will have some mild stroke-like conditions before we have a full-on heart attack. There will be warning signs that we need to look at the way we're living our life and make changes because next time we may not have the opportunity to do something about it. So on a global scale, that's what I'm suggesting, that we look at what is going on, and rather than wasting our time arguing with each other about whether it's real or it's a problem or not, the wise thing to do is to actually do something about it, is to actually be cautious. You know, I'm out on my bicycle now, I'm wearing this. Why am I wearing this? Because in the unlikely chance that I come off the bicycle. I came off the bicycle 2 years ago and I didn't hit my head, but I hit my shoulder bad enough to get bursitis in my shoulder. So maybe I should have been wearing the crash helmet on the shoulder. But the point is, I'm wearing a form of protection as a caution that in case an accident happens, in the same way that we all wear a seatbelt in case an accident happens when we're in our car, in the same way that cars have airbags and automatic emergency braking and all these, and crumple zones in case we get in an accident. These are things that when it does happen, you'll go, oh, thank God we had it. So just think about that. We're in an accident on a global scale, and the year that should not be mentioned has been the wake-up call so that we can pull the reins back in, learn from the adversity, and actually do something about it before it's too late. Hope that's given you something to think about, and let's get out of the mindset of denying that things are getting worse or whatever, and actually face the reality that science is showing how bad the situation is, and we need to do something about it. Let's live vegan and save lives, because that is the solution. And I hope you have a great day. Ahimsa.